Hello, everyone. Hello, collective. Today we're going to be talking about the fear of missing out, FOMO. So this is a example of a mental strain of caused by being fearful of missing out on opportunities. Evolutionary biology has explained this as an omnipresent anxiety brought on by our cognitive ability to recognize potential opportunities and also recognizing that we're missing out on them. And it's a form of social anxiety, a compulsive concern that you're missing out on an opportunity, an event, networking, and it's mostly aroused by posts that you see on social media. So, it's a desire to stay continually connected with other people and what they're doing and what they're involved in. It's also a fear of regret, which means that you have a compulsive concern that you might miss an opportunity to interact with others, to have a novel and unique experience, a profitable investment, or other satisfying things. FOMO is this idea that it perpetuates the fear of that you made the wrong choice to hang out with certain people or go to certain events and how you've spent your time, and you constantly imagine how things could be different. There is something called self-determination theory, and it asserts this feeling of connection with others, and it's a legitimate psychological need that influences someone's psychological health. In this theoretical framework, fear of missing out, FOMO, can be understood as a self-regulatory state arising from a situational or a long-term perception that your needs are not being met. With the advent of technology and social media and live streaming and YouTube, people socially and communicating with each other and having experiences together has been expanded from just face-to-face and word of mouth to online and larger outreach. So obviously there are a lot of great pro points to modern technology. I'm able to speak to you and talk about all of these types of subjects and thoughts and connect with you through a community. But there is a perpetual reliance and an increasing reliance on the internet to be able to connect with others. So I'm sure you've heard of, hey, I didn't know that there was a family reunion this summer. Oh yeah, the invites were on Facebook. Oh, well, we're not friends on Facebook. Or, oh, I don't use Facebook anymore. And it's like, oh, well, sorry. And no one thought to like call you, email you, tell your mom to tell you, those kind of things. Another one that I'm sure a lot of streamers, moderators, viewers on Twitch and YouTube can relate to is conventions, obviously. Either you are not at the convention because you can't afford it, or you couldn't get the time off from your job or from school, or you just didn't hear about the convention. And then you start seeing on social media, hashtag St. Jude Play Live Summit, hashtag TwitchCon 2019, hashtag PAX West 2015. I think it was actually called PAX Prime back then, but and you just see all of these people who are working with each other, doing all this networking, going out to dinners, and it is really frustrating to see that you're not a part of it. Hello, Solo or Troll. Thank you for the host. Hi, Dasky. How are you? Yeah. That's a cute emote. I like it. Hi, Crit. How are you? So it's very easy to look at your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook, look at YouTube videos that are being posted, or quick Twitch live streams that go up, or Periscopes, all of these different things, and you see broadcasters that you are good friends with, or you really like watching, or you see the moderators that you also moderate a channel with, who are having a mod dinner with the streamer that you wanted to hang out with, but you couldn't go to the convention. I will tell you straight up that even if you're at the convention, you still will have the feeling of the fear of missing out and the fear of and the regret of, did I hang out with the right people last night? Did I make the right decision to go onto the con floor earlier in the day? Should I have just walked around outside the convention and see if there was someone else there? Should I have reached out to someone on Twitter DMs last night or this morning and tried to hang out with them? You're going to constantly feel that even if you are or are not at the convention. And so the best way to realize that you're feeling FOMO, fear of missing out, regret, is to realize you have a problem. Admit that you're having it. You can't be everywhere at all times. You can't always be doing the coolest thing ever, because that also changes. In the moment, it might feel like the coolest thing ever, and then 2 years later, you look back at it, and it's like cringy, and you're like, oh, I can't believe that I was hanging out with that person because they were actually really a shitty streamer, or we actually aren't friends anymore. But at the time, like, it meant a lot to you. Admit and accept that you have that anxiety is a huge burden off your shoulders for a lot of different things. And once you've acknowledged that insecurity, it gets easier to be able to tackle the problem. So for me, when there's a big convention that I haven't been able to attend, so a big one for me is PAX West, PAX Prime. I don't go to that one. I went to it once, and I don't go to it anymore because it's really expensive and I don't really have a reason to go to PAXs. So, other than hanging out with friends. So, I just try not to obsessively watch social media or anything of that nature, and try to focus on people who aren't at the convention. So people who are still streaming from home, or also do other hobbies. So gardening, going to the gym, or also stream myself as well. Hi, Armor. Hi, Sapphire Gaming. Hi, homie. Nah, no Fortnite here, sorry. Let's see. What is this? Oh, my lovely calendar was telling me it's time to start streaming, but I beat it. So, Solo or Troll, what was up on your stream? What made you decide to come and hang out with us? Smite. I haven't played Smite, but it looks really cute. I guess the only comparable game that I really play nowadays that's sort of similar is Heroes of the Storm. Ah, yeah, that's actually a really good point too. So if you're like, I don't really care about conventions or anything like that, another one is timed events in video games. Either pre-ordering a video game either from GameStop or Walmart or Amazon, and it's like, well, if I don't pick one of those, then I don't get a specific type of skin or a specific mission. That's a really good point too. That's a good example. With anything when it comes to mental health, we all have our own little quirks and hang-ups, and they manifest in different ways and in different situations. So if you are someone who gets a lot of FOMO because you see your friends or your favorite streamers hanging out at conventions, I think it's a good idea to use a cognitive behavioral therapy technique, which you set aside time during the day. You do block scheduling for certain things. So you block schedule when you're supposed to go to bed and when you're supposed to wake up. You block schedule your classes for school. You block schedule your the time that you need to commute, the time that you need to shower, the time that you are at work, the time that you're going to eat at work. And you schedule when you check your social media. Sign out of Twitter and Instagram on your browser, delete the apps off of your phone, and only check them between 6:30 and 7 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I recommend doing it later in the day because you don't really want to start off your day with comparing yourself to other people and also being frustrated that you're not at the convention or you're not this amazing streamer who's fundraising thousands and thousands of dollars for a cause that everyone seems to be doing amazing work for, but you, is the feeling that you have. I mean, find a day that works for you, find a time of the day that works for you, and then stick to it until you can disassociate negative feelings and anxiety from social media. So I'll admit I probably check social media way too often, but it's also because I'm looking for content to entertain myself, and it's not really to compare myself to others or anything. And it took me a really long time to be comfortable with myself and secure in myself to be able to do that, because there's definitely times where I see people get partnered on Twitch and I'm like, that's not me. That's not me. And I think that's the thing that I probably get frustrated with the most on social media. But I feel that for a few seconds. It's okay to feel negative feelings. Sometimes it's okay. Recognize that I'm having that negative feeling, feel it, and then say, you know what? Yeah, I'm not, but I do also other amazing things. I talk on panels at different conventions. I have a really tight-knit and amazing and kind community. I'm friends with so many amazing broadcasters who enjoy hanging out with me when we do get to hang out. And kind of focusing on that and realizing this is my lane, this is my growth, this is my ladder. And I am proud of it because 5 years ago, just like we saw from that Alien Isolation clip earlier in the stream, I mean, I had a pretty active chat then too, and I had great people hanging out, and none of them are really here anymore, but that's okay because that's just a part of life and a part of streaming, and people evolve. They're focusing on other broadcasters who fit their free time to be able to watch them better, or maybe they were just there for that one game, or maybe I might have said something that upset them or they didn't like and they don't want to watch me anymore, and that's fine. Like, you're not going to please everyone. I think Coco the Louder says something really great where it's like, you can be the best bunch of peaches in the world. You can be beautiful and succulent and tasty and healthy and just gorgeous, but there's always going to be people who are either allergic to peaches or just plain don't like them. And that's not a judgment on the bundle of peaches, because objectively they're pretty damn great, but not everyone's going to like them, and that's okay. And like I said, it's taken me a really, really long time to get to that point as myself, as a person, and finding meaning and importance in a lot of things. So I like being a jack of all trade and a master of none. I'm pretty close to like mastering a lot of things, but I'd rather be known as, hey, Jess does mental health streams, and she also supports a lot of indie games, and also she does animation commissions, and also she runs the New York City streamer meetups, and also she does a lot of fundraising and charity work, and also if you ever have a question about how to do something on your stream, either technically or want to bounce off feedback about innovation or incentives for things, she will help you do that. That's what I like being known for, and that is what I'm known for years now. So I have a lot of I found my niche, and I'm really going forward with it. So, FOMO, fear of missing out. It sucks. I've felt it before too. It's a form of social anxiety, and once you've realized that you're feeling it, limit your attention to Steam sales, limit your attention to social media. And if it's getting to the point where you're obsessively checking these things, you can't focus on your schoolwork, you can't focus at your job, go and get professional help. Talk to someone, get cognitive behavioral therapy done. Start practicing mindfulness, which is a therapeutic technique. And it's not always just like yoga and Buddha, those kind of things. That's part of it, but some of it is just being mindful of the moment, what's happening right now in this room. How does my body feel? How do my emotions feel? Just for a minute, 60 seconds a day. Just, you can do it at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, the middle of the day, whatever works for you, wherever you can fit this in. And it doesn't have to be perfect every single time. Your mind might wander to something else. Like, oh, did I lock the door before I left? Did I feed the cat enough food in the morning? Did I remember to answer that email from my boss from yesterday night? Your mind will wander. It's all right. You don't have to be perfect at being mindful. You don't have to be perfect at anything your first time, your 100th time, your whatever. It's okay. Just breathe calmly, close your eyes, and just feel what's going on right now. So my arms are kind of tingly right now. I'm realizing my back's a little tense. It's also because I'm giving a presentation at the moment. So my feet kind of hurt. So let me move my legs so my joints don't get locked up in a position. And breathing techniques. In 7 seconds, hold 7 seconds. Out 7 seconds. That also helps a lot with if you feel like an anxiety attack, a panic attack is about to happen, or if you're experiencing one yourself, or if you see someone you know who's like hyperventilating. That's one great way to be able to counteract what's going on with you physically and psychologically when you are having those type of attacks. Get as much oxygen as you can in, hold it, let it process, and then get it out slowly. You do that a few times, and even if you're not suffering from a panic attack or an anxiety attack or anything at the moment, just doing that a few times a day lowers your heart rate, calms you down, lets you be able to focus because you just got a lot of oxygen in you and you've just gotten all of this energy. It's important to take care of your body, not only with exercise, not only with feeding yourself correctly, not only sleeping correctly, not only showering and proper hygiene, but also breathing techniques is a great way to start because it doesn't cost anything. We all know how to breathe, for the most part. So learning how to breathe properly can help those as well too. So, do we have any questions about FOMO? Fear of missing out. Any ideas or thoughts of what we've talked about so far? Streaming, missing out on IRL things, meeting on Twitch people and relationships. Yeah, streamers do get FOMO. Either they're not streaming enough and they're missing opportunities to get that huge donation for St. Jude, or that huge donation for their monthly goal, or a tip for their monthly goal, or a bunch of sub points so they can get the next emote unlocked. There are definitely times that I felt like, oh man, I've streamed a lot the last 2 weeks, like almost every single day, and I didn't get one new sub, and I didn't get any tips whatsoever, or I didn't get any donations to St. Jude. And those are negative feedback loops that you're giving yourself. So it's okay to feel it for a moment, think about it, and then think, why am I thinking that? Well, maybe I didn't focus on shilling and being a proud beggar for St. Jude enough that stream. Maybe it was a shorter stream. Maybe I just wasn't talking about the right things at the right time. Maybe it's in between paychecks for the majority of my viewership and people just can't, tip to me or sub to me at the moment. It's okay. So being able to take the emotion out of your thought and take a step back and think about it logically after you feel that for a moment. I haven't shilled yet today. I haven't. I would love to shill for myself and St. Jude. But fear of missing out, and also there's another social anxiety called FOBO, fear of a better option. The phenomenon was first identified in 1996 by Dr. Dan Herman. He's a marketing strategist, researched it and published a first academic paper on the topic in 2000 in the Journal of Brand Management. And then it was also became popular in 2004 by Patrick McGinnis, who published an opinion piece in the Harabis, which is a Harvard Business School magazine, and basically their role in social life in college. Fear of missing out, like we said, is an addiction to social media, an addiction to feeling like other people's highlights need to be your constant daily experience. Hello, Longaman. Why isn't Twitch streaming supposed to be a full-time job? What's the difference between a Twitch streamer versus a YouTuber versus a Broadway actor? Someone who creates content, entertains a community, and gives people a sense of belonging. You can take a step back, and someone who creates a sense of belonging. Churches do that. Meetup groups do that. Brands do that. And those are all considered full-time jobs as well, too. Anything could be a full-time job if you know how to brand yourself, know how to market yourself, and hit the right opportunities with proper preparation. So I don't think it's fair to say Twitch streaming shouldn't be a full-time job, because I think that's a very close-minded look on the world. People have been entrepreneurs and artists and entertainers for thousands of years. This is just the newest version of it. Did I clean up the crime scene properly? Yeah, that's something that I'm sure Guan Yu would talk about. And exactly, Finn, you don't like peaches, and that's fine. You don't like certain streamers who might be like super hype or incredibly chill, but they all have their own niche, and they fulfill a demand of viewership. Just might like it. Damn it, Armor. Hello, by the way. I think I said hello to you, but I'm gonna say hello again. FOMO is very real when your favorite streamers are on at the same time. Oh, yeah. It's true. There are times where I want to stream maybe earlier in the day, or I want to stream in the evening, like usually this time, which we've always kind of done. I obviously start a little bit earlier now, but there are times where I'm watching someone and I'm like, man, I don't want to miss it, because live content is really, really fun. Like, yeah, you can watch the clip or something, but not being able to, like, oh, blah, 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 hype, oh, blah, 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 awesome, at the same time that, like, something is happening. That's the biggest reason why I love Twitch, being able to interact one-on-one and, like, oh my gosh, the streamer said my sentence. I still feel that, even if there's only like 2 people watching someone versus 2,000. Even though I've been streaming for over 5 years, I feel like I'm mostly a Twitch viewer. And that's kind of how I view the website. So like when people like say, oh my gosh, Jessica, she's amazing, give her a shout out, she's a great broadcaster, I look up to her, I'm like, what? Hold on, what? It's really humbling and wonderful. And I really appreciate it, but like sometimes I'm just like, yo, I'm just a viewer and I stream sometimes, and then I realize I actually stream a lot. It's like a part-time job for me, the amount of time I put into it on and off being live. I do feel amazing, but sometimes your brain doesn't always like let you enjoy compliments, and I've been really good over the last year to be able to say, whoa, that's a negative emotion, let me think about it, let me process it, let me feel it, and then push that bitch out, because we ain't got time for that. Thank you for the follow, Eltrix, the druid, cute name. So yeah, that's what fear of missing out is. It sucks. Don't fall into it. And if you are, And it's not to the point where you're able to deal with it with being able to log off of social media, with being able to focus on hobbies, to do mindfulness exercises and techniques. Go talk to a professional and grow your self-worth and grow your ability to make every moment that you're a part of important and enjoyable, because that's what you're doing right now. So that's my little spiel on what fear of missing out, fear of a better option is, and how to recognize that you're experiencing it, and some basic techniques to be able to get yourself out of those ruts and to be able to enjoy life and yourself and those around you a little bit more. So I hope that was helpful.